The world reflects the state of mind of those who perceive it. Reality conforms to the inner assumptions of individuals, shaping their experiences to match their dominant thoughts and beliefs. Those who dwell on wealth, abundance, and prosperity naturally attract circumstances that validate their assumptions. Conversely, those who focus on lack, limitation, and hardship unknowingly summon experiences that reinforce their struggles. Life is a mirror, and each individual sees a reflection of their own consciousness. The external world does not dictate inner conditions. Instead, the inner world projects itself onto external circumstances. Each person lives in a reality shaped by their most consistent assumptions. Those who assume themselves to be successful, regardless of temporary appearances, find ways to elevate their circumstances. They persist in the feeling of already possessing what they desire, and in doing so, they magnetize opportunities that align with their mental state. Others, locked in a pattern of doubt and struggle, reinforce their experiences of difficulty by continuously affirming their lack. The unseen but powerful law governing existence does not discriminate. It merely delivers according to belief. A person who consistently entertains thoughts of prosperity naturally finds themselves surrounded by wealth, whether through ideas, opportunities, or direct financial gain. Wealth is not limited to money, but encompasses well-being, relationships, and peace of mind. On the other hand, those who resign themselves to struggle become locked in a cycle of lack. The mind's focus determines what is drawn into experience and what is assumed to be true, sooner or later externalizes in the world. The principle remains unchanged. That which is mentally accepted manifests in due time. Some assume that circumstances dictate fate, believing that external forces control their wealth or poverty. Yet, circumstances are merely the crystallized results of persistent inner states. A shift in assumption leads to a shift in experience. Those who remain steadfast in the feeling of abundance, even when external conditions seem otherwise, gradually witness a transformation in their reality. Others, who succumb to the appearance of limitation, unknowingly perpetuate their struggles by reaffirming what they do not want. The mind is the ultimate creator, and assumption is the tool with which reality is molded. One who understands the creative power of assumption ceases to be a victim of conditions. They recognize that they alone determine their state of being. If they assume themselves to be wealthy, they act, think, and feel in alignment with that state, and in time, their world shifts to reflect their inner conviction. If they assume struggle, their thoughts, emotions, and behaviors conform to that reality, and their experiences reinforce it. The pattern is unwavering. Belief precedes experience. Wealthy individuals do not merely possess riches, they possess a mindset that naturally attracts more. They do not chase wealth, they embody it. They do not lament losses, they assume gains. The state of being determines what is drawn into one's life, and the external world arranges itself to reflect this assumption. Those who struggle with lack are not failing due to external circumstances, but due to an internal conviction that scarcity is their reality. To change the outer world, the inner world must first transform. Some may argue that external forces such as the economy, politics, or luck determine one's financial state. Yet, these are merely secondary causes. The primary cause is always within. The individual who assumes themselves to be financially secure finds ways, both expected and unexpected, to validate their assumption. Those who assume instability, regardless of efforts to change, find their circumstances confirming their inner belief. The world does not move randomly. It moves according to consciousness. To break free from lack, one must begin by shifting inner assumptions. Dwelling on what is missing only reinforces its absence. Instead, one must mentally live in the state of already possessing what they seek. This is not wishful thinking, but a law as precise as gravity. The mind must be trained to persist in the assumption of abundance until it hardens into fact. Thoughts repeated with conviction imprint themselves upon reality, summoning experiences that match. Those who rise from poverty do not do so through effort alone, but through a shift in their inner conviction. They cease to see themselves as struggling and begin to assume they are abundant. In doing so, they naturally align with the conditions that bring wealth. The external world simply plays out the script written by their inner beliefs. Those who cling to the feeling of lack, no matter how hard they work, find their efforts leading to more struggle. The determining factor is not effort, but assumption. It is not necessary to know how circumstances will change, only to persist in the feeling of already having the desired state. Life arranges itself in ways unseen to bring about the fulfillment of dominant assumptions. The wealthy often seem to attract more wealth effortlessly, while the poor find themselves in recurring financial struggles. This is not due to luck or misfortune, but to persistent inner states. One who assumes themselves to be wealthy, even in humble beginnings, eventually aligns with prosperity. Everything begins within the mind. The difference between those who thrive and those who struggle is not external, but internal. One group assumes wealth and reality conforms. The other assumes lack and reality conforms just the same. The law is neutral and responds only to belief. To change one's financial condition, one must begin by changing their most consistent inner dialogue. They must persist in assuming wealth until it becomes their natural state of being. The power to shift from lack to abundance lies entirely within. External circumstances are mere shadows cast by internal states. Those who direct their inner focus on what they wish to experience will eventually see it materialize. The mind is the creative force that governs reality, and assumption is the method by which it operates. The rich get richer, not because they are more deserving, but because they assume wealth. The poor get poorer, not because they lack opportunity, but because they assume lack. The cycle is only broken when inner assumptions change. Every individual holds within them the ability to transform their reality. The mind, when disciplined, becomes the architect of experience. The assumption of wealth must become more dominant than the fear of lack. The feeling of already possessing abundance must be stronger than the doubt that contradicts it. This shift in consciousness is the only requirement for change. Those who master it rise above limitation, while those who ignore it remain bound by appearances. The law is always in motion, delivering according to assumption. What one assumes, one receives. The rich do not have a monopoly on prosperity. They simply embody the state that attracts it. The same principle applies to all. One must claim the state desired, persist in its feeling, and allow reality to conform. To wait for circumstances to change before changing inner assumptions is to misunderstand the creative process. Reality follows assumption, not the other way around. One who grasps this truth holds the key to unlimited abundance. Those who assume wealth, regardless of their starting point, eventually experience it. Those who assume struggle, no matter their efforts, find their struggles persist. The world merely plays back the dominant beliefs held within. By consciously directing assumption, one steps into the reality they desire. The law operates without exception. Change begins within and unfolds outward. To assume wealth is to receive wealth. To assume lack is to receive lack. Reality never fails to reflect assumption. Gratitude is a powerful force that magnifies wealth and abundance. When one appreciates all they have, no matter how small, they create an energetic state that attracts more of what they value. The feeling of gratitude signals to the mind that abundance is already present, reinforcing the assumption that life is full of prosperity. Those who consistently express gratitude find that their circumstances shift to bring them even more to be thankful for. The key is to dwell on the feeling of already having what is desired, and gratitude is the bridge that connects the present to the abundance of the future. By living in a state of gratitude, one aligns with the frequency of prosperity. Instead of focusing on what is lacking, they focus on what is already abundant, thereby calling more of it into their experience. Gratitude is the acknowledgement of wealth before it fully manifests, a declaration that one already possesses the riches of life. Those who master this mindset see wealth flowing effortlessly into their lives. The more grateful one is, the more reasons they find to be grateful, and this cycle continues, bringing forth unlimited abundance. If you see this, you will become richer. This is your sign that you are close to receiving wealth and abundance. Nothing is random. Everything unfolds according to your assumptions. The fact that these words have reached you is a reflection of your inner transformation. Prosperity is already aligning with your life, and soon your reality will confirm it. Trust in the process. Remain steadfast in your assumption of wealth, and allow the unseen forces to bring forth the abundance that is rightfully yours.